Okay, so good morning, all of you. Welcome to this lecture of applied thermodynamics. So this will be like last lecture for the chapter reciprocating air compressors. So good news for all of you that 80% syllabus only will be considered for your examination. So if you consider 80%, that means for our ATD subject, out of 8 chapters, only 6 chapters will be considered. Out of 6, we have completed 3 chapters. So 50% syllabus in that regard we have completed. So today we'll take a numericals and then we'll proceed. Okay. Kalyan Paul, you are mentioning your roll number. So have I asked your roll number now?
47 sir.
No, have I asked you? विचार लगे तुम्हाला तुमचा roll number?
No sir.
Then why are you putting there?
Sorry sir.
Okay, so don't try to be over smart. There will be time at the end of the lecture. I will take your attendance by myself. Okay, no need to put your attendance also in the chat box. Right? Okay. So today we'll take that example I have given you as a homework. So this was the example. So we are in this chapter, reciprocating air compressors, and we have seen the derivations, how to calculate the work done or the work required to drive the compressor with clearance volume and without clearance volume. Then we have seen what is the use of multi-stage compression, what is the use of intercooler. Then also at the start we have seen what is the classification, what are the types of the compressors. Okay. So this is the numerical related to the multi-stage, that is a two-stage reciprocating air compressor. Okay, I will read it. So a two-stage compressor compresses air from 1 bar, okay, and 20 degrees Celsius. That means the suction air, the air which will come inside the compressor, its pressure is 1 bar and 20 degrees Celsius. So 1 bar is generally atmospheric pressure, and it compresses to 42 bar. Okay, so that is the beauty of multi-stage. In multi-stage you can achieve higher values of pressures. Okay, in single stage only you can go up to 10 bar, but if you want to go for 40 or 42 bar, in that case you have to go for multi-stage. Now if law of compression is a PV raised to 1.3 is equal to constant and intercooling is complete to 20 degree Celsius. Okay, so here is a twist in this numerical. They are saying that intercooling is complete to 20 degrees Celsius. This is same as inlet temperature. So inlet temperature is also 20 degrees Celsius. Intercooling outlet temperature is also 20 degrees Celsius. That means this is a case of perfect intercooling. In perfect intercooling, the outlet temperature of intercooler is equal to the suction temperature. Now find per kg of air work done in compressing the air, and second is mass of water necessary for abstracting the heat in the intercooler if the temperature of cooling water is 25 degrees Celsius. Okay, so here not only we are dealing with the compressor, here we are also dealing with the intercooler. Intercooler is one type of heat exchanger. Heat exchanger means there is a exchange of heat takes place. So there will be one cool medium like cooling water, there will be hot medium like in our case hot air, and there will be a transfer of heat. So temperature of hot air will decrease and temperature of cold water will increase. So that is the case in case of heat exchangers, and intercooler is one type of heat exchanger. Right? So first step always in this is to draw that PV diagram or indicator diagram. Okay, so I will draw that indicator diagram. Indicator diagram, on y-axis we have pressure, on horizontal axis we have volume. Okay, now this is the case of multi-stage compression, so I will draw that also. So here we have suction, so there will be this point 1, then there will be a low pressure compression, there will be a low pressure compressor 1 to 2, then there will be a intercooling, that is a 2 to 3, then there will be again a compression, so let us say 3 to 4, then there will be a delivery or the discharge, let us say 0.5, and then there will be a suction. Okay, so let us say this is your point 6. Okay, or let us say this is your point 6, and this is point 7. So as you can see, in case of multi-stage compressor, we have saved this amount of work. So that is the beauty of intercooling in multi-stage compression. Let us say this is a point 8. So what is given here? They have given the pressure P1, so that given as 1 bar. So 1 bar that you have to convert into pascals, 1 into 10 to power 5 pascals, right? Then temperature T1 is given, that is a 20 degrees Celsius. So 20 plus 273, that will be in Kelvin. So 20 plus 273 will be 293 Kelvin. Okay. Then they have given the discharge pressure. So discharge pressure here it is a P4. So P4 is the discharge pressure. Then we have P2, which is the intercooler pressure, and then we have a P1, which is a suction pressure. Okay. So I'll draw also the diagram so you will get to understand. So here the air comes from the atmosphere. Then here we have a low stage or low pressure compressor. Then the air goes to intercooler. So this is the intercooler. So there is a circuit for cooling water also. So this is a intercooler. Then that air comes out, it goes to high pressure compressor, and then there is a outlet. Okay. So here air is coming at 1 bar and 20 degrees Celsius. After compression, so after compression, its pressure increases as well as its temperature also increases. So here we have some high pressure and high temperature air. Then we are passing it to the intercooler. Intercooler, there is a cooling water coming, cooling water in, and there is a cooling water out. Okay, so this will absorb the air heat from the hot air. Then we have high pressure but somewhat lower temperature air, which will go to the high pressure compressor, and the outlet we have a 42 bar compressed air. So this is the circuit for this two-stage compressor. So here P4 is given as 42 bar. Or I can say 42 into 10 to power 5 Pascal. Okay. Always remember to convert this unit. So 1 bar is 10 to power 1 bar pressure is equal to 10 to power 5 Pascals. Okay. So 1 Pascal is actually 1 Newton per meter square. That means there is an area of 1 meter square. On that area, I am applying 1 Newton of force. So that means 1 Newton per meter square. So this is meant by 1 Pascal. So 1 Newton of force applied 1 per meter square. So that will be 1 Pascal. Okay. So here P4 is given, that is the discharge pressure is given as 42 bar. Then that index, see this index, compression index, this is given as, so this will be PV raised to n equal to constant. Here n is given as 1.35. Okay. Again, this temperature T3 is equal to the suction temperature. So this will lie on this isothermal line. So there will be one isothermal line. So it will lie on it. So this is the case of perfect intercooling. That means whatever temperature here at the end of intercooler, let us say that temperature, let us say here temperature is P1 and T1. So at the outlet of intercooler, their temperature will be again T1. So this is the case of perfect intercooling. Perfect intercooling means the work required will be very minimum. जे आपल्याला ज्यावेळेस परफेक्ट इंटरकूलिंग करतो त्या केस मध्ये आपल्याला कमीत कमी वर्क लागतं कॉम्प्रेसर ड्राइव्ह करण्यासाठी. Next we have so here they have given the cooling water temperature also. So temperature of cooling water. So let us say temperature of cooling water, here it is 25 degree Celsius. Okay. So this temperature, let us check if it is the inlet temperature or outlet temperature. Okay, so this will be like increase in temperature. Okay, so this is actually increase in temperature of cooling water, so that delta T or the delta TW is given as 25 degrees Celsius. That means when the cooling water will pass through the intercooler, so it will gain a temperature of 25 degrees Celsius. त्याच्या टेम्परेचर मध्ये 25 ने वाढ होणार आहे. So this is a given data here, and what is asked here is to calculate the work required. Okay, so the formula for the work required in case of compressor, so this is for two stage. The formula is there, n upon n minus 1. So as this is a two stage, the formula will be, so like P1 V1 inside the bracket. First we'll take P2 by P1. So this is a low pressure compressor pressure ratio, P2 by P1 raised to n minus 1 upon n, plus then we have to take the high pressure compressor pressure ratio, म्हणजे हाय स्टेजला जो कॉम्प्रेसर आहे त्याचा आपल्याला प्रेशर रेशो घ्यावा लागेल. सो दॅट विल बी P4. P4 हा काय असणार आहे त्याचा discharge pressure of higher stage divided by P2, that is a intermediate pressure raised to again n minus 1 upon n whole minus 2. Okay, now here in this case, here in this case, this P1 is given, that is 1 bar, n is given, that is 1.35. The other pressure values are also given. The only thing unknown here it is V1. So V1 is unknown. Okay, but what they have said here, let us see. So they have said find per kg of air. Okay, so we have to calculate per kg of air. That means mass will be 1. So if mass is 1, we can easily calculate the volume. So let us see here. The formula for V1 according to the ideal gas equation will be mRT1 divided by P1. Okay, so here mass is 1, so we are calculating for per kg, so that means there is a 1 kg of mass into R. R for air is 287. So the T1 means the suction temperature, that is given as 20 degrees Celsius. 20 degrees Celsius means that will be 293. So that will be divided by P1. P1 is again 1 bar, so 1 into 10 to power 5. Okay, so calculate this value and tell me. Okay, so I see a lot of answers here as a 0.84. So I will take that. So W or V1 here it is 0.84, and the unit will be meter cube per kg. Okay, so we are calculating per kg. So this will be meter cube per kg. So I will put here also. So its unit will be again joule per kg or watt per kg, whatever that will be there. Okay, so work will be equal to N. So N here it is 1.35 divided by 1.35 minus 1, right? So into P1 V1, P1 is 1 bar, 1 into 10 to power 5. V1 we have calculated as 0.84, and into, in big bracket, P2 by P1. So P2 also here in this case P2 is also not given, so P2 is unknown. Okay, how to calculate P2? So see here, this is the case of perfect intercooling. Perfect intercooling. Why it is perfect intercooling? Because the outlet temperature of intercooler, this intercooler, is equal to the suction temperature. So if it is the case, then that will be perfect intercooling. So for perfect intercooling, that P2 will be equal to under root P1 into P4, suction pressure into discharge pressure. So I have given you one that MCQ test in 3 to 4 days ago. In that also I have given this MCQ, like what will the formula for P2. So you put that values here. So P2 will be equal to 1 bar. So 1 bar is 1 into 10 to power 5 into 42 bar. So 42 into 10 to power 5. So calculate this and you will get the value of P2. So others also please show active participation, right? So if anybody is having a doubt or a question like why we are doing this calculation, first thing here it is you want to score maximum marks in university examination. Your academic performance should be well. But above that, when you go into the industry and you have to do such calculations, so if you become some design engineer, so design engineer job is to first to calculate these values. So he has to, if he is designing a multi-stage compressor, so he has to design how much should be the suction temperature, how much should be the intermediate pressure, how much should be the discharge pressure. So by knowing those values, he has to calculate the size or the shape of the compressor. He has to decide what will be the bore diameter, what will be the length of the stroke, what will be the size of the piston, how much strokes will be there. Then its job is to construct that compressor. So design engineer will give these values to the production. Then production, by knowing these values, it will do the manufacturing of various parts. So as we know, inside the compressor, there is a piston, there is a crankshaft, there is a connecting rod, then there is an inlet wall, outlet wall. So all these dimensions of these parts will be given by design engineer, and the production engineer then will manufacture it. Okay. So this is how this chain will work in the industry. So if you go into the industry, first your job, if you become a design engineer, your job will be to calculate these values. If you become production engineer, then your job will be to get the drawings from the design engineer, and accordingly you have to go for the production. Okay. So probably in your next sem, maybe you will get some hands-on the design softwares. So first step is CAD software. So we have AutoCAD. In that you will get hands-on, like how to draw drawings, isometric drawings, ortho drawings. Then in your third year, you will get hands-on on 3D CAD software. Like 3D CAD softwares means we have CATIA. Then there are other softwares like ProE. You will get hands-on those softwares in your third year of mechanical engineering. So by knowing these softwares, it will be easier for you to model your project. Suppose you are doing some project. In that project, you require to do the analysis of any part. So like knowing how to use the AutoCAD, knowing how to use the CATIA, you can easily draw those models. Then analysis part can be done with the help of analysis software. So we have analysis softwares also in our CAD lab. We have ANSYS, we have COMSOL. So in that softwares you can do the analysis. Okay. So I'm just giving you one overview, like how these projects will be done. First step is design, then you have to do the analysis, then you have to redesign or make the changes. Final design or the final drawing will be sent for the production. So this is just overview how things being done in mechanical engineering industries. Okay, so I will put the values here. So P2, many of you have calculated P2 as 6.48. So I will put it here, 6.48 divided by 1. So I'm not taking 10 to power 5 because the numerator and denominator both are same. This will be raised to 1.35 minus 1 plus P4 is given at 42 divided by 6.48 raised to again 1.35 minus 1 upon 1.35 whole minus 2 whole minus 2. So do this calculation and you will get the value of compressor work required. Dada Shingate. So you are given me your roll number. Great. So what do you do one work? You write that roll number 57 on your forehead, and then you send me the picture of it. Then I will take your attendance. Okay. तुमच्या कपाळावर लिहा रोल नंबर आणि मला फोटो पाठवा. So many times I have given instruction that I will take the attendance at the end of the lecture. Please do not mention your roll number in between the lectures. Okay, so I have one answer here, 4.1, no, 4 into 10 to power 5. So others also please check if it is the same answer. So one answer is here, 4 into 10 to power 5 watts. Okay. Okay. The answer is correct, 4 into 10 to power 5. But what about unit? Okay. What about units? What will be the unit here? Okay. So if you get confused anytime, what will be the unit? So see here equations. This equation C here for the WC. In this case, C N is just a number. So this will be having no unit. So this will be having no unit. Then we have pressure into volume. So pressures unit will be Newton per meter square, and volumes unit we all know that is a meter cube. So if you multiply these two, then we will get Newton into meter. So Newton into meter is nothing but joules. Okay. Then next here it is the ratio of pressure. So if there is a ratio of pressures, units will get cancelled. So there will be no unit. Again there is a ratio of pressure. In numerator also we have pascals. Denominator also we have pascal. Pascal will cancel. Here also we will have no unit. So the final unit of this equation will be in joules. Okay. If this volume is given in meter cube per minute, only in that case your unit of work will be in watts. Okay. But here in this case the volume is in meter cube, so we have to write that in joules. So this will be like joules per kg. This will be joules, like joules per kg. Okay. Now next here they have asked what will be the mass flow rate of intercooler required. Cooling water inside the intercooler will be required. So for your understanding, I will draw the diagram of intercooler. So inside the intercooler, there will be one circuit for cooling water. Then there will be another circuit for the hot air. So in this circuit, what will happen? So this is the intercooler. There will be cooling water, which is coming inside, cooling water in. Then there will be cooling water out. Here we have hot air will come in, and there will be hot air out. Right? There will be some exchange of heat, and this hot air temperature will decrease, and it will go to cold air out. Okay. Okay. So in first chapter of your ATD, you have studied law of conservation of energy. So law of conservation of energy. Law of conservation of energy is also known as first law of thermodynamics. Okay, so first law of thermodynamics says that energy cannot be created, it cannot be destroyed. It can only be converted from one form to another form. So that means the total amount of energy remains constant. So I will apply same equation here. So here in this case, see what is happening. Whatever heat gained by cooling water, right? So cooling water comes in contact with hot air. Cooling water काय होत आहे, गरम हवेच्या संपर्कात येते, त्यावेळेस काय होणार आहे, गरम हवेचं टेम्परेचर कमी होणार आहे आणि थंड पाण्याचं टेम्परेचर थोडं वाढणार आहे. सो वॉट एव्हर हीट गेन बाय कूलिंग वॉटर विल बी इक्वल टू हीट लॉस by hot air. That means all the energy is being conserved. Okay. Now what is the formula for this heat gain? So that will be mCp delta T. So mass of water into its specific heat, Cp of cooling water will be equal to mass flow rate of air into its specific heat into delta T. So delta T will be here T3 minus T2. So this is a T2, which is a temperature of air from low pressure compressor. T3 is the outlet temperature. So in this case, they have given that this outlet temperature is equal to the suction temperature. That means T3 will be equal to T1. So sorry, this will be T2. T2's temperature will be higher than T3. So T2 minus T3. Okay. So here we have to calculate actually what will the mass flow rate of water will be there. Right. So I will write down the known values. So the specific heat for the water is 4.187 kilojoules. So 4.187 into 10 to the power 3 into delta TW, the increase in temperature of cooling water is given as 25 degree Celsius. So 25 degree Celsius, that means that will be, so 25 will be, so this increase in temperature is 25 degrees Celsius. So that will be equal to, okay, so this is a delta T. So we can directly write down 25 is equal to mass flow rate of air. So this we know it is per kg. So that will be 1 into Cp of air. So Cp of air, this is the specific heat of air, that will be always 1.005. Okay. Into T2. So T2 is unknown and T3 is equal to T1, that is a 293. Okay. So there are some constant values for your information. Suppose if I taking water, so specific heat for water is 4.187. If I taking air, in that case specific heat is 1.005. Okay. Specific heat is the amount of energy required to increase the temperature by 1 degree Celsius. Now, how to calculate T2? So that is again another question. For that, we can make use of isentropic equations. Okay, so for compression 1 to 2, we can write down T2 by T1 is equal to P2 by P1 raised to n minus 1 upon m. So here T2 is unknown. T1 we all know that is a 20 degrees Celsius or 293 will be equal to P2 we have calculated, that is a 6.48 divided by 1 raised to 1.35 minus 1 divided by 1.35. Okay, so one very important thing here, when I was writing this equation, when I was writing, I knew that there are two unknowns. One is mass flow rate of water and another is T2. But I didn't stop there. म्हणजे मी असं कन्फ्युज नाही झालो. आता मी काय करू, माझ्याकडे दोन unknown आहेत. Okay, so there is always a way to calculate the variables. आता T2 साठी मी काय केलं, I have used this isentropic equations, that is a T2 by T1 equal to P2 by P1 raised to n minus 1 upon n. Okay, so always go for how you can calculate the variables, right? So there is always a way. So the thing is, you should know the formulas. What are the different formulas are there that you should be knowing. Now, how you will get to know? Once you practice. So you have to practice more and more numericals. After practicing, you will get to know that there are these formulas are there. By using those formulas, you can calculate the values. So practice is very important here. Calculate T2. So those who don't know the concept of specific heat, for them I will explain. Suppose you have this one box is there of iron. Okay, so there is this cube of iron is there, right? Its temperature, let us say initially it is 25 degrees Celsius, and then I have to increase that temperature to 50 degrees Celsius, right? A concept of specific heat is that if I want to increase this temperature, first I have to go from 25 to 26 degrees Celsius, then 27 degrees Celsius, then gradually I will go to the 50 degrees Celsius. Then to increase the temperature, I will need heat. Okay. Then amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 kg. So its mass should be 1 kg. 1 kg of substance. That heat we are referring it as a specific heat. So 1 kg mass of that substance. Then you want to increase the temperature by 1 degree Celsius. The amount of heat required will be its specific heat. And for water, that value is 4.187 kilojoule. And for air, that value is 1.005 kilojoule. So I have seen some answers here. So 475, 475, 563. So Prem Sawan, please recalculate and confirm. So the right answer here, T24 will be 475.586. So I'll take 58 Kelvin, right? So I will put that into that equation. So this will be mass flow rate of water into 4.187 into 10 to power 3 into 25 equal to 1 into 1.005 into 10 to power 3 into T2, here it is 475.58 minus 293. So calculate this mass flow rate of water.
One point 75.
Okay. Others also please calculate. So what will be the unit here? That also please mention. What will be the unit? So unit of mass, simply that will be kg. So 1.75 kg. Okay, so this means that मला 1.75 kg किंवा 1.75 liter water लागणार आहे, cooling water लागणार आहे. कशासाठी? If I want to decrease the temperature of hot air by this much amount. Okay, so I want to decrease the temperature by almost 200 Kelvin. I want to decrease the temperature of hot air by 200 Kelvin. In that case, I have to use cooling water of mass 1.75 kg. Right. So when your practicals will be there for IC engine. So one of the practicals of IC engine is calculating how much heat is being lost in the exhaust. तुमचे एक्झॉस्ट गॅसेस ज्यावेळेस बाहेर पडतात त्यातून किती हीट लॉस्ट होते ते कॅल्क्युलेट करण्यासाठी एक प्रॅक्टिकल आहे. सो इन दॅट केस अगेन देयर इज सच काइंड ऑफ heat exchanger is there. Then there are you are also measuring the temperature. So by knowing the temperature difference, by knowing the specific heat of gas, by knowing the mass of gas, then you can easily calculate how much amount of heat is being carried away in that exhaust. Okay, so I will quickly recap this numerical and we'll see if we can solve one more numerical or not. So there was the two-stage compressor. Inlet pressure was 1 bar and we have to deliver up to 42 bar. Then they have given the inlet temperatures, then they have given the index for compression. It was asked to calculate work done in compressing the air and the mass of water necessary for abstracting the or absorbing the heat in the intercooler. So first step is always to draw that indicator diagram. So the indicator diagram will give you insights how to calculate or how to proceed. Then this was the given data here. So we started with calculating the WC, that is the work required in the compressor. So here V1 was unknown. That V1 we calculated from ideal gas law equation. Then we have calculated the work required. So work required was 4.5 joule per kg. Then the second thing was asked that how much amount of water is needed in the intercooler. So this is the schematic for intercooler. Cooling water comes inside, it takes the heat and then it leaves. Then hot air comes inside, it releases its heat to the cooling water and the cold air comes out. So this is one type of heat exchanger. So here I have applied the law of conservation of energy. That means total quantity of energy is being conserved. So whatever heat gained by the cooling water will be equal to heat lost by the hot air. So that equation I have written, mCp delta T for cooling water is equal to mCp delta T for air. So here in this case again T2 was unknown. That T2 I have calculated from this isentropic law. Okay, so T2 was known. Then finally I have calculated the mass flow rate of cooling water. Okay. So write down. Okay, so I will give you this example for homework. This is already there in the notes, and then you can refer it. First, you have to practice it, and then you can refer the notes for the answers. So here is the one single stage double acting air compressor. So what is a double acting? So up to this point, we have seen single acting only. We have not seen the double acting. So suppose this is a cylinder. This is your cylinder head. So double acting means there is a piston and the two faces of piston, that is a top face and bottom face, both are used to compress the air. So whenever a piston is moving this side, this air is being compressed. Whenever piston is moving from this side, so this air will be compressed. So that is meant by double acting cylinder. And in double acting cylinder, the speed is always 2 times n. So n will be the RPM. The speed we consider is twice the n. So here it is said that a single stage double acting air compressor is required to deliver 14 meter cube of air per minute measured at 1.013 bar and 15 degrees Celsius. So this is your inlet condition, and this much amount of air is being delivered, 14 meter cube. The delivery pressure is 7 bar. So this is the delivery pressure, and the speed is 300 RPM. But as this is a double acting cylinder, so that speed will be 600 RPM. The VC, that is the clearance volume, is 5% of Vs, that is given here, with n equal to 1.3. So this is the index for compression. This is 1.3 for both expansion and compression. So calculate Vs, that is the swept volume, T2, that is the delivery temperature, and IP, that is the indicated power. So quickly write down this numerical, or you can take the screenshot, and then afterwards you can practice it. So as I said earlier, 80% of syllabus will be considered. So that means 6 chapters will be there out of 8 for you. Out of 6, we have covered 3 chapters. That means 50% things are over. In next lecture, I will start the boilers. So we'll see what are the boilers, what is the classification of boilers, how boilers are being constructed, what is the heat phenomena inside the boiler, how that heat balance equation is generated, how to solve the numericals for the boiler. So there is again one big industry is there which manufactures boilers, and if possible, if you come to college, then we'll arrange one visit also to nearby sugar industries. In sugar industry, there are boilers, and we'll get to see like what is the inside of boiler, or you can just get the overview of the plant. Okay. So I hope you have written the numerical. Please try to solve it. Its answer is already there in the notes. Also, another one more important thing here, that gate results are being out there. So last time, third year students were also allowed for GATE examination, and last year students also. So out of that, as per our knowledge, only one student has cracked the GATE examination with the score of 39 or near to 40 marks he has scored. And the thing is here, this will be like target for you. Only one student is cracking the GATE examination. So this is kind of challenge to you. So take the challenge and show me that from your batch at least 10 students will crack the GATE examination. Okay, so GATE examination has a lot of advantages. If you want to go for jobs, PSU companies require GATE score. If you want to go for post graduation, in that case also GATE examination is important. Okay, so quickly I will take. Okay, so I have taken your attendance. In next lecture, we'll start the chapter boilers. Right. So thank you for attending. Goodbye.